Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. August 12th, 2018. I've been getting in the kitchen and I've been cooking for 15 years. It's just hard to believe that I started cooking and everything. And I love to cook. I love to cook for church homecomings, dinners, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, you name it. And I love to cook. And over the years, I've come up with some things of my own and things I've learned from my grandmother and other people, what they have told me. And I just put everything together and it just works out a-okay. And I've also looked at some of my videos in the past and realized, hey, I need to make some improvements on some things. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm making a turkey meatloaf along with scalloped potatoes, broccoli casserole, maybe 2-3 other things. So I want you to come along and I want to show you what I've already got started. I've already got some eggs boiling on the stove. You would want to time them for 13 minutes. Just as soon as they start boiling, you would want to place them in cold water and turn your heat on about in medium and just keep an eye on them. You don't want your eggs to overcook because if you do, they'll become tough and you won't be able to eat them. I'm going to make deviled eggs. I've also got some potatoes on the stove that I'm going to make scalloped potatoes with. So I want you coming with me. And let's start with our meatloaf mixture. Now what I did was I went to the store. I purchased 3 pounds of ground turkey. And you may not be able to see this that well, but it will all work out. In this bowl, I've got 3 pounds of ground turkey here. And to that, I'm going to start adding other ingredients to it. I'm going to add 3 eggs. I use 1 egg per pound of meat, whether it be hamburger meat or ground turkey. I'm also going to add my seasoning. I'm going to add some onion powder. I'm going to add some garlic powder on here, I mean. The lid fell on the floor, but I'll get it later. You just eyeball your seasonings according to your taste. Some Italian seasoning. Please excuse the shaking of my phone. I add some salt. Most of the time, I use sea salt. Sometimes I use kosher salt. You want to use probably about a tablespoon of salt because this is going to make a whole lot of meatloaf. Now, I'm going to have to zoom this out or something. This is a little bit blurry. But you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Probably a couple of tablespoons. Then I'm going to add some ketchup. We love ketchup in our meatloaf here at the house. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use clean hands. I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to combine it. So I want you to stay tuned. I'm going to add a couple more things to my turkey meatloaf. Alright, I'm back, everybody. I still don't know what's wrong with my phone. It's a little bit blurry, but that's okay. I'm just giving you some idea on making a turkey meatloaf. I combined everything so far. Now, what I just did was I added some dry breadcrumbs to the mixture, and that's going to hold the meatloaf mixture together. And I also used some fresh breadcrumbs that I soaked in a little bit of milk before I put in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use clean hands again. You want to make sure that you stir everything around. Now, I probably will have to use some more fresh breadcrumbs and also some dry breadcrumbs. So I want you to stay tuned. I'm going to stir everything together, and I'm going to form it into a big loaf. So I want you to stay tuned for more. All right. Looks like I'm going to have to do a part 2 on our meatloaf dinner because I can't figure out what's wrong with my phone. So what I'm going to do, I used a big pan. You can tell that I've used a big pan here. And I made 2 really good size meatloaves out of the mixture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in a 375-degree oven. And I'm going to bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes or until it's really good and done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill another pan with some hot water and put it underneath this one on this bottom rack. This is going on the top rack. The pan of water is going to go on the bottom rack. What that's going to do is going to keep the turkey meatloaf from drying out. So once again, I'm going to bake this at 375 for about an hour and 15 minutes. So I want you to stay tuned. I got more dishes coming up your alley. All right, everybody. I greatly apologize for the first few minutes of the video. I think what I did was I accidentally pushed something else to make it darker. Now it looks so much better. I can see the words here on this little container of paprika. So I'm going to talk about my deviled eggs. Now, as I said earlier, I started out by filling a pot with cold water, very important, and you would want to have a pot with a lid and put ever how many eggs that you want. I put about 10 or so. No, probably about 10 in mine. That's what I did. And what I did, I set the eye on medium, and I covered the pot with a lid. And you got to pay attention. Make sure that you listen for it to boil. When it starts boiling, you want to set your timer for 13 minutes. Now, when the eggs are done, just drain them and run the sink or your pot with cold water, and almost immediately start peeling your eggs. And I'll tell you what, it'll make life a whole lot easier on you if you do that. Now, what I did was I cut each egg in half and separated the yolk, and to the yolk, I got a fork and mashed the yolk up, put the white on this decorative plate, and to the yolk, I added some mayonnaise, mustard, according to your taste, and a little bit of salt. Now, what I did was I stuffed each half, and I'm going to give about a few of these. I'm going to top a few of these with paprika, because I know that there's some who don't like paprika on their deviled eggs. I do. I also like olives, green olives on my deviled eggs. So, but I don't have any olives. I've not bought olives in a long time. What you will need to do, you'll need to put this in the refrigerator, let it sit for a while. So I want you to stay tuned. I got some more things coming up on this little video. All right, welcome back, everybody. I got the deviled eggs in the refrigerator. The meatloaf is still baking in the oven. It's got about 50 minutes to go, so it's going to give me some time to make dessert and another dish or two. Now, I'm going to make a cheesecake. This time, I'm going to make a chocolate cheesecake. Good news about this one is, and the other cheesecake I'm going to make is strawberry banana, and I'll show you how to do that also here in just a second. Good news about this is you don't have to do any cooking at all. So if you are looking for a quick dessert to take the church homecoming, whatever, here it is. You can go to the store and buy you a ready graham cracker crust that's already been pre-made, like I did. And in the bowl, I've got one package of 8-ounce package of cream cheese that has been sitting out at room temperature overnight. That is very important that you do that. If you have forgotten to do that, just get you a bowl and get you some hot water in it. Let it sit for a little bit, and that also works. That's what I did. Now, what I also did here, and this is also very important, is please make sure that you have cold, heavy cream. Make sure that your heavy cream is cold. You're going to use 2 cups of that, juice of 1/2 of a lemon, and a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Do not use imitation. I know this little bottle that I bought costs $4, but I'll tell you what, a little goes a long ways. There's nothing like using the real thing. So I like using pure vanilla extract. So what I'm going to start this out on low. And by the way, about 1/3 cup of sugar. This is good enough to make 1 pie. Start out low. If you don't, your mixture is going to go all over your kitchen and all over you. Just make sure that your cream cheese is at room temperature. The best method is to sit it out overnight. Boost the speed up just a little bit because it's starting to come together. I'm thankful that my phone turned out a lot better. I greatly apologize for that. See how it's coming together? You want to increase the speed. Now, I think it would be ideal if I just go ahead and add about 3 tablespoons of cocoa. Unsweetened cocoa. Since we're making a chocolate, Since we're making a chocolate cheesecake, that you don't have to bake in the oven or anything. No cooking at all. I'm sure it's making a bunch of people hungry right now by watching this. Now I'm going to increase the speed even more. The thing is, you do not want to overbeat this mixture, because if you do, it will turn into butter, and you don't want chocolate butter. It doesn't sound good. Now, that is good. I want you to look. That is perfect. That's the way that we want it right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into my ready, prepared graham cracker crust. I'm going to put it in the fridge. I'm going to also make a strawberry banana one. So I want you to stay tuned for that one. All right, everybody. I've got the chocolate cheesecake in the fridge. Now I'm going to do the strawberry and banana one. Now what I'm going to do, I'll use the same ingredients like I did with the chocolate. Remember, you want to start out slow. Whoa. Some of that went out on me, but that's okay. You really don't have to necessarily rinse your beaters nor your bow if you don't want to, but if you do, it's totally up to you. Now this cream cheese has been set out overnight, and that's what you want. Probably would help if you just crumble it up. Crumble the cream cheese up some first before you put it in your bowl. That way you won't have a mess on yourself like I do. But that's okay. It can be cleaned off. And if you don't have one of these steam mixers, a regular hand mixer is just fine to use. I got this one at a yard sale. Now, it's starting to come together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my strawberries, probably a half of a pint of strawberries. Now, if they don't get all squished up, that's fine. I'm going to add 1 banana to it. Make sure that your banana is right. Probably would help if you sliced up your banana. But I didn't do that. I didn't think to do that. What's going to happen is the lemon juice is going to keep the banana from turning brown. I never had thought about doing this before until a previous video that I did. I think I told you that I was thinking about it and had an idea to do it. And here it is. Alright, everything is done. I'm going to stop right there, and I've got another pre-baked graham cracker crust I'm going to put this in. I'm also going to put it in the fridge. I've got 2 more dishes that I'm going to show you, so I want you to stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everybody. I still got about 20 more minutes for my meatloaf to come out of the oven, and right now I'm going to make scalloped potatoes. I've already got the potatoes cooked. I boiled them and cooked them for 10 minutes. No more past that. You don't want your potatoes to fall apart. Now, I got making my sauce here. I got probably about half a cup of butter, unsalted butter, no margarine, but butter, and also a half a cup of flour. Now I'm stirring this. It's almost like making gravy and biscuits, as I've said before. You just want to make sure that the flour is cooked through. You don't want to eat raw flour. I added some salt in here. I'm also going to, I also added, going to add a little bit of garlic powder. We're going to have some flavor. Onion powder. And I'm going to stir it. I'm not going to add Italian seasoning. Not this time. You see how it's coming to a golden brownish color. That's what you want. Now, I'm going to add probably about 4 cups of milk. There's probably about maybe a cup and a half or 2 cups in here. That's not enough, so if you would excuse me for a moment, I'm going to get this other jug of milk. Sorry about that. I'm going to add, let's say that's about 4 cups of milk. Just eyeball it. Bring it up to about medium high. You want to stir it. If I need to add more milk to this, I will. You don't want to get it too thick, because as it bakes, the potatoes and the cheese that I'm going to make layers with, everything's going to be good. It's going to be thick enough. It's going to turn out just right. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to stir it constantly until it thickens up. And I'm going to show you how I layer it. All right, welcome back everybody. The sauce, as you can tell, is thickening, and it's thickening really fast. You don't want it to be too thick. You don't want it to be too thick. So I'm going ahead and turn it off, and I'm going to start layering it. Now, let's put the whisk to the side. Take this off the eye, because we don't want this to cook anymore. Okay, here we go. Get a spoon. This is like layering a lasagna. We're going to start with our sauce that we made. Well, this is going to turn out really good. Okay. Then I'm going to add some of these potatoes. I'm going to say half of them. Now I'm going to add some cheese, cheddar cheese. Put as much as you want. Sprinkle it on there. It's okay. I'm going to spread it out evenly. Make sure that you have clean hands. That looks good. More of the white sauce. You can add as much cheese as you want to this. You want to add the rest of the potatoes. My meatloaf is about done, so that's just in time for me to put this in the oven when I get ready to. Just want to take this strainer and do it like that. Make sure you spread the potatoes evenly. Now, I did let the potatoes cool down a little bit before I handled them. That way it'd be easier to spread. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of the cheese on here that I'm going to add. This is making my mouth water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to put the rest of the sauce on here. I'm going to put it same temperature, 375. Bake it for about 30 to 35 minutes until it gets good and golden brown and bubbly. So I want you to stay tuned. I've got one more dish I'm going to make, which that's a broccoli casserole. All right, my final recipe here is going to be a broccoli casserole. Now, what I did was I took 2 packages of frozen broccoli and I cooked them according to the package directions. Now, I also drained the broccoli and put it back in the same pot and just use it as a mixing bowl. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to that a can of cream of mushroom soup, add juice of a half of a lemon. I'm going to add some cheddar cheese. I'm going to add probably about a half cup or so of mayonnaise. Now what I'm going to do, I want you to stay tuned. I'm going to add the mayonnaise in. I'm going to stir it all together. I'm going to put it in this small casserole dish, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to top it with. All right, I got everything well combined and into my casserole dish here. What I did was I topped it with cheddar cheese, as you can tell. I also crumbled about a half a sleeve of these circle butter flavored crackers and put them on the top. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the oven along with my scalloped potatoes at 375. And I'm going to bake this for about 30 minutes until it's good and golden brown. So I want you to stay tuned for the finishing touches of our turkey meatloaf dinner. All right, everybody, I want you to look. Everything is done and we are ready to eat. I got my turkey meatloaf that I put back in the oven for a few more minutes to get it heated up. And I've already had a piece of it and it's really good. I've never been too crazy about meatloaf, but I like turkey meatloaf okay because I don't have to deal with all that grease in the hamburger meat. Broccoli casserole turned out really good. I want you to look. It's really good and I can't wait to eat that. My deviled eggs, my scalloped potatoes, I sampled that and that's really good. And my chocolate cheesecake and my strawberry banana cheesecake. I can't wait to dig in. I know some people who would love to have a plate of food right now. Now, guys, I hope that you liked my video. I apologize for the first part of it. Like I said, it was a little bit blurry or whatever, but the rest of it turned out really good. Continue to subscribe. Comments are welcome. Have a blessed Sunday afternoon.